Hey there, Paper Geeks and Glitter Nerds, it's Anna, the Crazy Geek Crafter, and this is an unboxing and a preliminary look at the Cricut Joy 2. I had been looking at the smaller Cricut for some time, and I waited so long that they actually made an upgrade, and that's why I chose to get the Joy 2. I was thinking about getting the Joy Extra because I like the bigger size, but I'm trying this one out for now. Because what I really wanted was something smaller I could have on my desk, where my brother takes up like an entire table every time I need to use it. This would be much easier to use. And I'm trying to cover up my address here. It's not really easy, but I think I succeeded. So the box I could get was the Essentials bundle, and that's fine by me. This first package here is the vinyls and cardstock transfer paper and oh yes, and cards, insert cards. And in here I have both for English and European sockets. I also found out that these two that you see here under the papers, they are extra. I also get a European socket with the extension cord, which I'll drop on my foot in a moment. There, that hurt. Most of the packaging here is paper. There's this package of silica beads. I love these. I normally put them with my embossing powders. It helps them from getting chunky. But I also use them with my filaments now that we have a 3D printer. So, yeah. This is the Essentials. There's a card mat, there's a long light grip mat, and then there are the tools, the paper ruler. It's maybe 100 GSM paperweight. It's a bit more than normal paper, but it's not much. Then a pen, a scraper, a score tool, the hook, and the spatula, and a paper trimmer. And I get that if you're new to Cricut, this is fantastic that you get all these things, but if you already have like one or more machines, then maybe this is less excitable stuff to get. I do have a weeding hook, but the other tools were new to me because I can actually do vinyl with my brother. I bought the extension pack for that, so I have the hole and the blades for that. This is the knife, and that's the one with the hole in it at the top tab. And for some reason I chose to use the other European part. It just clicks in. It's really easy to do, and the cord is pretty long. It's nice, so you don't need an extension cord. Probably won't need an extension. I definitely don't need one. Out of all the packaging, there were 2 pieces of plastic, and here I'm explaining that why I'm off camera. I'm fiddling around with all the power supplies to find a place for this one to sit, because in my power strip it will cover up 2 outlets if I don't put it at the end. So this was the only things that were not paper. This thing for the cord, 2 plastic bags, and the silica beads, which means that I can easily get rid of all my trash at home. So that's very nice. I did start the program off camera, sitting on my couch, because well, it's easier for me, and I didn't want to share my code, and of course I couldn't even remember it, so I had to go get an email and everything, and you don't need to see all that. So now I'm back with the first compulsion. I have to do this project where it cuts vinyl in the shape of a Cricut logo. The setup was pretty easy. I just opened the program, logged in, and then I picked the product that I had, and it found it on the network. I didn't even have to fiddle around with the Cricut. I just plugged it into the power, and it could find it. It was very easy. Now I need to weed this piece of vinyl, and it suggests that you pull off the square around the words, but I have another idea. Since I did some stickers with numbers for our trash cans, and I could actually get 2 numbers with 1 cut by using the number itself and then leaving a border around it so that I'd have a negative and a positive part. And I'm going to try and do the same here so that I both have the word Cricut in black vinyl and the label with the hole in it, if that makes sense. But first I have to cut the contact paper to size. That's how I prefer to do it. Not that I have a super amount of experience in this. I haven't made that many vinyl projects. Hopefully that'll change now that I can easily pull this out and do things. But yeah, I just have to get the hang of it. When you put down the tape, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of gray around all the letters. That's because the very edge where it's been cut, it doesn't adhere. So I have to just figure out how to get it to do that, which is I take my weeding tool and I run it over the edge, and then the tape picks up the letters like so. And this means I get 2 stickers for 1, which is very nice. Moving on with my actual test project, I unboxed this during a period where I was doing lives with the Gummiapen Spring Calendar 2026, and I needed some sentiments, custom sentiments for it, since I don't have that many dies from Gummiapen with words, and I didn't want every single one of my cards to say congratulations. So I'm gonna write out the sentiment. It is Sommer og smil, which in Danish and means summer and smiles. It can be smile singular or smile plural in English, but because in Danish it's the same word. I want to write the words and then cut around it. So I need both to use the drawing feature and the cutting feature on this project. At first, I'm just scrolling through to see if there's anything in particular that I want to cut, just for fun. And there are a lot of projects here for free, which is very nice. I do appreciate that. And another thing I appreciate is that the Cricut program works on my tablet, which is easier for me to work with on the couch, which means I can prepare things ahead of time while I am relaxing and then cut them at the desk. Whereas with my brother, I need an actual computer to use the program, and my laptop is getting a bit old and it can no longer update, and therefore none of my programs are working anymore. It's a bit sad, but I can always use my stationery that I also use for editing for these things. It's just easier when I can bring the work to the sofa where I sit and watch TV anyway, and I can fiddle around with these things for a long time. Now I haven't yet you see me fiddling with the ruler. I haven't redone the program yet to do metric system, so I'm just fiddling around to make sure that the canvas I get is the size of a card front, just about, just so I have some idea of how big I'm making the sentiment. Right. I think I'm just gonna speed up this process because it's kind of tedious and I'm just mumbling to myself on the original voiceover. So let's just speed it up and get to the cutting part. I did discover one very annoying thing with using the tablet, that whenever I was trying to write something, the keyboard just took over the screen and I couldn't see what I was doing. That was annoying, and hopefully it's something I can learn to work around, so it becomes part of my process and I don't have to consciously think about this. But that was a bit annoying. I do have a keyboard for my tablet, and that would be one solution, is to just put out the keyboard. But I often sit with this holder I bought at IKEA, and it hangs off of my knees when I'm in on the sofa, because I kind of lie down because my back can't really handle sitting up straight anymore. And in that position, having the keyboard out is not really possible. But I may have to adjust for that. And here I was just really happy to find out that I can actually buy a shorter mat, because this one is really long and I don't really need that much space every day for everyday stuff. So that's a good thing. I think I need to buy that. The point of this machine, buying it, was to have something small that was easy to get out and use and put away again. And here I am marking the cover for the plate, or the mat, not the plate, the cover for the mat, because they have a tendency to disappear on me, and this also makes it easier for me to know which side is up and which is down. And you can see how strong the grip is here. After I pulled up the cardstock, instead of rolling the mat off of the cardstock, it completely curled. That's how strong the mat is, and hopefully it lasts a long time, because it does not on the Brother, that's for sure. I have to re-stick that one quite often. I think I maybe get 6 uses out of the mat, and then I have to recover it with the sticky material. It's really annoying, but I heard that the Cricut mats are way better. Now this system, you need to tell it what it's cutting. It's not like the Brother, where I have an auto blade that finds out by itself how thick something is and then cuts accordingly. This machine is told what it's cutting, and then it knows what to do, and then there are some adjustments you can make, as I understand it, if it's not quite right. I don't know if you noticed, but this is actually my second attempt at making this, because the first time I hadn't actually changed the outline to be a cut line, and it was thinking it was a draw line, and then it took all of my things and spread them out across the paper, which is weird to me, because what if I wanted there to be a line around my sentiment? What if that was on purpose? Then what do? I don't know that yet, but I'll have to find out at some point. But after I changed it, it stayed put where I had placed it on the card, so that's a good thing. Though the day after, I did some other cuts with some squares. I think it was the day after. No, it was the third day. The third day I did some squares, and that was problematic because it didn't want to cut the shaped sentiments on the same side piece of cardstock as it did the squared sentiments for some reason. It wanted it on different plates, which was to me a lot kind of ridiculous, since that made everything take up more space. I had already spaced it out on the piece of paper I wanted to use, so why did it need to put it on 2 different pieces? I didn't understand that, but I have a lot to learn about the program yet, and all of these things are a learning experience. I also learned that the pen from the Cricut does not deal well with water, but it does alright with the alcohol markers. So that's a point I needed to find out. Here I was talking about the second day where I used the Cricut, where I made sure that I spaced out the sentiment so I could use this die cut to go around it. That was also a great learning experience, because you need a certain amount of space around the sentiment. Then I found out how to figure it out, which is very nice. I am planning to come back in 3 months or something to talk about how much I've learned and what things I don't really appreciate and which things I do appreciate about the project. For now, the only thing that I can really point to is the fact that I need to unplug the machine to turn it off. That's kind of annoying. I would have liked a switch on the front of it. But that's kind of it for now. But in 3 months there may be other things. I hope you enjoyed this, that you'll be back for another video some other day. Until then, I hope you'll be having a good day, evening or night. På gensyn.